buy me a beer, feel free. I appreciate it. I'm not going to say no.
I can't wait till we show up and people are like, oh, whose creepy dads are these, right? It's like that's where we are in life.
Yeah. I could literally be the uncle of half the Shine roster at this point. That's where it's at. So that's,
We have just buried ourselves and other people for the first 10 minutes of the show.
I'm going to bring them some snacks, maybe like some orange slices, like people used to do when they need some energy. Some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, maybe. Watercress.
Okay. All right. Well, we have seriously, we've fallen off the rails here on this September 20th edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. But it's no growth rails. Listen, the big news this week that everybody's talking about is the debut of NXT on USA. I was not aware that the first hour was going to be on USA and the second hour was going to be on the WWE Network, so that was different to me. Joe, really quick, just I guess going into the show, what were your expectations?
Well, I think given the card and the matches they had put together, leading up to it, I think that they were looking to make it not necessarily takeover level quality, but they put some pretty significant matches on the show, right? So they had the Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong North American title match was on there. The four-way match for the number one contender spot for the women, and Riddle versus Killian Dane, right? So there was a lot that they had advertised, and that was over the course of 2 hours. They obviously had other things in there as well. So I thought that I had pretty high expectations. I mean, the crowd was of course very into it, being that it was a live episode on the USA Network. This week and next week they're only going to be on for 1 hour on USA, and then the rest is on the network. And then, of course, when they get to October, head-to-head with AEW, they go for the full 2 hours on USA. So
is that because of Suits?
Yes, it's because of Suits. They have obligations to Suits. So that's basically, I guess, my expectation for it. I do have some viewership numbers here. If you're interested in those, I can give you those and compare them to Raw and SmackDown. But we don't have to talk about that if you don't want to. Like I said, it's really up to you.
It's our show. You know what? It's the people's show. You know whose show it is? It's Zachary Shiloh's show.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
Shout out to Zachary Shiloh for being the biggest supporter of the show and just an overall good dude. Yeah, give me the viewership for the USA portion.
So the USA portion drew about 1.2 million viewers for that hour on Wednesday night. I don't know what their expectations were going into it, but I can give you what the viewership was for both Raw and SmackDown by comparison, if you're interested.
I would love to hear that.
So that the average viewership of Raw was 2.27 million. So about an extra million for Raw. And then SmackDown was about 2.064 million. So a little bit less than Raw, but about maybe 800,000 more viewers than NXT. So that was, of course, all those shows are right now, all those shows are on USA. So it's all USA to USA to USA. Fox, of course, comes into the picture on, I think that's the 4th of October, if I'm not wrong about that. So that's what it was. I guess NXT did like around half, a little bit more than half of the viewership of what Raw and SmackDown did this week.
I mean, you have to look, right? North of 1 million, to me, that's a pretty good number for NXT.
I think it is. I think it is too. I think the other thing the thing that's going to be interesting is how many viewers they do, not only when they go to 2 hours, but when they're going up against AEW, right? So there's 1.2 million viewers that watched last Wednesday. How many of those are going to stick around, and then how many of those are going to switch over to AEW, or you know what I mean? Like, so is it going to be a situation where they both do like 500,000, or are there going to be even more wrestling fans that are watching those nights? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see in a couple weeks when they do go head-to-head for the full 2 hours, who does what viewership steadily.
You could tell they hot-shotted this. They wanted to get it out a couple weeks before AEW because or else like I feel like the Suits thing wouldn't be an issue. This was a quick gut check decision. And listen, anything north of 1 million to me has got to be a win for them. So kudos for them. I'd be interested to see how many people checked out NXT on the network afterwards, because I don't know if you tried. I know I was talking to our buddy Brian about it. NXT was down, and the WWE Network was down for about a half hour. So I started watching Goldfinger. That's a true story. Goldfinger was on Pluto TV. It's a 007 movie.
Okay.
And actually, Pluto TV has a 007 channel, so I just watch a bunch of them.
I thought maybe it was like a Goldberg special on the network that you turned in, and I didn't know if that was related.
Where when Goldberg uses his finger to,
I don't know. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, but no. So yeah, I did hear that. I did not switch over to the network right after because I was watching on a delay, so I ended up watching the following day on the network on Thursday for the second hour, which was also good. So I don't know. It's cool, I guess, that they have the ability to now, or they're going to mix in the NXT UK folks as well as the cruiserweights. So they had Oney Lorcan versus Lio Rush on the show this week for a cruiserweight title shot, which is a little strange because Lio Rush hasn't been around a while, and now all of a sudden he gets an opportunity to title shot. But whatever. I mean, I think that they can make more out of that division, on a week in, week out basis if it's at least filmed in Full Sail, which I know we've been talking about for a while. I don't know if that is the plan, but I think that's where they're going to head towards. So that'll be cool. And yeah, they had Walter and Imperium were there. Pete Dunne was there. So they do have a lot of. I think they have a lot of guys on the roster that they can now feature a little bit more than they have 2 hours a week. Versus just the one.
Yeah, some of the things made sense to me. Some of the things didn't make sense. The whole Lio Rush thing kind of felt like, I don't know why. Not that it was a bad match, actually, but you got to bring this guy back and go right into a title shot. That's whatever. Roderick Strong winning, I think, was a really good decision. Give the Undisputed Era all the gold. Like gold. Man, it's all coming back down to Goldfinger. It's all coming up golden fingers. I loved the build-up for Walter. They didn't bring him out right away. They brought out the rest of Imperium, and everybody wanted Walter. When Walter came out, it felt special. It felt different. It was great. Big fan of that. The main event was okay. I thought starting off with the women's match did not surprise me. It had it was like the biggest kind of car crash match. I thought it was a really good. And Candice LeRae winning, Joe. What more could a guy ask for, huh?
Yeah, it was a good match. No, I thought it was a good match to open the show. So, certainly, it was a good match. And she's a fresh challenger for Shayna Baszler. Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai have all challenged Shayna in the past. So Candice has not gotten a title shot yet, so this is a good opportunity for her to get a shot. I know they said it's going to happen in maybe like 2 weeks or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but the NXT.
Can she lose, Joe? Can she just lose already?
I feel like you're projecting. I don't know. I don't.
Projecting. Go back and look at our predictions for every NXT show. Every time we predicted she was going to lose, and then we started predicting the opposite just to conflap it. It still works. Damn it. What else did there was so much on the show. I got to be honest with you. I mean, this might sound harsh. I thought when the show opened, it looked small. Did you feel that way?
I don't know. I mean, I think I guess I'm just used to watching NXT that way. As far as the weekly show is concerned, I'm not sure if they have goals of moving outside of Full Sail for tapings or not. I think I heard the rest of the year, at least 2019, they're going to do all the shows at Full Sail week after week. But if they start going other places to do TV, I don't know. It's going to be tough to do, I think, if you go live, right? Like, where are you going to book? AEW's booking arenas every Wednesday, right? So it's, I don't know. It probably makes sense for them to just stay in Full Sail because as long as the crowd remains hot, for each week. I know sometimes when you watch the tape episodes, there are ones where the crowd is not as into it as maybe other weeks. I'm not sure if that's because of the long taping or
it's not like the fifth show. That night, I agree.
Or if it's the same fans over and over, or whatever it is, I know that's how it happened with the Impact Zone, right? Like the Impact Zone had a lot of crazy fans for a while, and then like after a few years or however many years it was, it got to a point where people were like, all right, I'm still seeing the same thing over and over again. So, I think it looked like the stage was a little different to me, like the ramp or something. I don't know what the deal is with that, but other than that, I thought it was fine. I like the NXT product. I like the way that it's laid out, so I don't really have much issue there. What did you think?
Top to bottom, I thought it was an easy watch. It was a quick watch. Was there any Johnny Gargano?
Gargano? I don't think he was on the show. I don't remember seeing him on the show. But I think that I think one of the things they're going to do is kind of, space guys out when you see them week to week. You might see a situation where Gargano is on every other week, or Cole or Riddle or guys like that. I don't think they're going to feature the same guys week after week after week. So, hey, Mike, he's back.
Hey, Joe. The last thing I said before, my internet really mass transited itself. Was there any Johnny Gargano?
Oh yeah, I just went on a rant for like 2 minutes about that. So, short answer, no. Short answer, no.
Okay, that's okay. Good. There was a couple of other. I guess, how do you book it? Like, if you're WWE, are you booking it like these people are seeing NXT for the first time, or are you booking it like it's a continuation? Because I didn't think there was enough necessary backstory on a lot of what was going on if you're booking it like these people are checking out the show, for the first time they're returning it on. So I think it really depends on who your audience is. But as far as a wrestling show, top to bottom, like I said, it was an easy watch. The matches were good. The matches were strong. You got over characters that, I guess you could tell if they are booking it like you're tuning into NXT for the full time, who they're going to put the rocket behind, right? It's going to be the Undisputed Era. It's going to be Pete Dunne. It's going to be Imperium with Walter. It's going to be Velveteen Dream. Like those were the main focus. So let's hope they stay on NXT. And are they going to have to pull out more stops going forward when AEW comes on? I'm sure they will. But I thought it was interesting that the Dijak and Keith Lee match got such great reviews. They've already booked the rematch for next week on USA. I think that's a good way to draw in the both the casual viewer and the smart fans. So I think that was good booking.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think that they, you got to look at some of the stuff that they showed, a little bit of the backstory with Strong and Dream, right? They showed a little bit of the backstory with Dane and Riddle. They featured a couple of people. I know they did a little quick thing on Cole, did a little thing on Damian Priest, right? So I think there's some things that you can see, and then you promote stuff for next week. I mean, that's kind of how wrestling is supposed to work, right? It's not Raw and SmackDown. I don't know if they purposely don't do things like that because they change their minds, or sometimes when they do and then they change the booking like a week, a couple days later. So it's hard to, get invested. But that's what it is. Like, okay, well, this week you saw these matches. Now next week you're going to see these matches, and who's going to be on the show. And some things some things you don't know. You can do the quick squashes like they did with Cameron Grimes and things like that. But
or Sean Maluda.
Yeah, unwanted, bro.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I hopefully they do it like that, and they'll show some stuff about guys. Hey, next week you're going to see Keith Lee, and here's some highlights of Keith Lee, and then the following week you're going to see Pete Dunne, and here's highlights on Pete Dunne, like whatever it is. I mean, that's what I think you do because back years and years ago when they used to do superstars and stuff like that, it was all squash matches, and it's like, oh, I'm going to watch $1 Million Man beat somebody, but it's okay because it's the $1 Million Man. It's only going to be 5 minutes, so. I don't know. We'll see how they go with it. Like you said, when AEW starts, if they're putting on like big time matches like in every half hour, then NXT might not be able to get away with short squash matches for guys that are cruiserweights or whatever. So I'm sure the shows are going to have to react to each other, once they kind of get into a groove of what's going to be happening week after week and how the ratings look.
I'll be watching. Joe, let me ask you this: 2 weeks from now, when NXT goes head to head with AEW, which one are you watching live?
I think for the first week, I'm going to do the old school flip back and forth deal like I used to with Raw and Nitro. Again, it depends on what's going to be on NXT that week, right? So I don't know what NXT all the matches are going to be on NXT for that week of
That's
10.
Candice versus Shayna. That's the only thing I know now.
Yeah. So I mean, I know